Welcome back, everybody, to Cooking with Skip. Today, it's Friday, it's the weekend, and what does that mean? Barbecue. Yes.
Yes.
Again, with our favorite guy, Chef Gao. This weekend is the big challenge, the coveted brisket. Look at the size of this lad here. This guy, 17-pounder. All right, we're gonna have this guy going, cooking low and slow on the smoker. This is gonna be something else, man. We're gonna be trimming this in a couple minutes. Eric is gonna be working on
the brine.
Yes, the brine. He's gonna show us what he's gonna put in there. And we're gonna get that guy ready. We're gonna brine that overnight and maybe a little longer, and then get to the cooking tomorrow. All right.
It's gonna be good. Wish you were here.
All right, so for the trimming, we're gonna leave the fat on. Probably cook it with it on top, but we're gonna get rid of some of the big stuff that's not gonna break down, that we don't really want in there when we're slicing it up at the end to eat. You know, some big chunks here and there, and we're gonna trim it off a little bit like some of those barbecue pitmasters guys do. Morning, guys. It's the day after. We just took this big 17-pound brisket out of the brine that we had prepared yesterday. We're gonna get it ready with the rub so we can get this thing on the smoker. It was in the brine for, well, overnight anyway, probably at least 12 to 15 hours. Probably could have let it go longer, but we want to try and get this thing on the table sometime tonight before 8 o'clock, and it's going to be a long cook there, so we might be looking at well over 12 hours before this guy's ready to eat. So we're going to get the rub on. All I'm using is same rub that I used on the pulled pork the last time. It's a combination of salt and pepper. There's a little paprika in there and some garlic powder. Pretty straightforward and simple. So I'm just going to get rid of some excess liquids on it from sitting in the brine. And later today at some point we'll try and get Chef Gao over and see if we can explain to you what we put in the brine. We kind of did a fast forward film on that brine preparation, so maybe it'll give us a chance to see what we put in it. It's pretty fun, a lot of tasty stuff in there. Look at that, that's a beautiful piece. Look at this guy, gorgeous. You see some of the seasonings from the brine are still stuck on there, which is nice. So we'll get some of that flavor on the outside too. All right. We're not going to put it on too thick here, but we're going to give it a nice coating all over even. Still got lots in there. Make sure to get every little corner and spot. Just gonna tap it in. This will help make a nice bar counter too. One thing with the size of this brisket, it's barely going to fit in my smoker. And part of the reason I'm using the electric smoker is because I got a little bit more room in it than I do on the charcoal grill. And also, got a busy day today, running around and doing things and yard work and stuff like that, so it'll give me a chance to just really walk away from it. Once I set that temperature on the smoker, I can just set it 250, 275, walk away. I don't even have to look at it again for hours. I'm trying to get all the sides. That's a pretty good coating. It's not really that thick. Nice. All right, we'll let that sit for a few minutes. Let the meat get up to room temperature. This thing was in the brine, but it was out in the cold, so which is good. It's like being in the fridge, but we'll let it get up to room temperature, close to it, before we get that thing on the smoker.
All right, so check this out. We've had the brisket in for about 4 hours, maybe a little longer. I'm not even gonna put a temperature probe in the meat. There's no point. I know this thing's gonna take all day anyways. So to give you an idea, I just opened the door so the temperature dropped down a little bit, but we're sitting around 250-ish for cooking. And the marinade, sorry, not the marinade, the brine from yesterday, I boiled that down under advisement from Chef Gao, and added a little bit of beef broth, boil it for a little bit longer. So we're going to use that maybe later for an au jus. But what I did also under both my suggestion and Eric's suggestion is we took that for spritzing. We put that half and half. So half of that brine that's boiled down in here, and the other half is Frank's Red Hot. Oh, so we're going to spritz this guy every hour just to see what kind of flavor this is going to bring on, but it's also going to keep everything moist, I think, while we're doing the cook. All right, so we're going to have a look in here. We'll check it out, and we'll get a little spritz happening. Whoa, baby. That's gorgeous. Oh, it's starting to form. Okay, let's get this guy. Let's get him. That's looking really good right now. I'm going to spritz him all over. Beautiful. What a massive hunk of meat this thing is. I mean, it's ridiculous. It barely even fits in the smoker. And that's part of the reason I got it in the smoker. Not sure if I mentioned it, but that thing would never fit on my Weber charcoal grill. I mean, it would fit, but with all the heat coming off of, you know, I'm going to have the coals on one side, it'd just take up so much room that the thing would be cooking too hot, I think. There'd be too much heat hitting it. So I figured let's get it in here. Also a lot easier to control. I mean, I can just set this thing temperature and walk away, and I can spend the day doing whatever we want to do instead of trying to monitor the other charcoal barbecue, you know, every once in a while. All right, so we'll check back in with this thing on our next little spritz, and maybe we'll stick the probe in and see what kind of temp we're getting. All right, it's happening. We got this brisket up to a 167. So what we're gonna do is pull that out of there. We're gonna wrap it up in tin foil. I wanted to try the butcher paper thing, but I couldn't get any. So, oh, by the way, we were at a really nice 225, 250 range for the last 6-7 hours, I think. So this guy should be ready for that. Have a look. Look at the smoke pouring out of that. Oh, yeah, baby. I've been spritzing that thing every once in a while, so we got some puddling and stuff on there. That's okay. That's all that's going to do is hurt the bark, I guess. But that is looking fantastic. All right, so we're going to pull that out. We're going to get it wrapped up in the kitchen. We'll go inside and show you that. All right, brisket is out. She's around 165-ish. Oh, baby. Look at that. Look at that. Woo!
Nice piece of meat.
Check out the color of this. What a big honking mama. Beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna wrap this guy up. Fat side up, which is the way it's been cooking.
Yeah.
So we'll leave that. We're gonna need a whole pile more of tinfoil, I think. Very good. That. Want to go this way with a couple?
Yeah.
Maybe seal it a little better?
Yeah.
Yeah, I poured already. Oh yes.
One more.
Sure. Look at that. Beautiful. That's going to contain all the moisture in there until we get it up to 203 or so. Keep it moist. Yeah?
Perfect.
We're going to stick the probe.
The only thing we didn't do,
Yeah.
taste it. Too late now.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right, we'll stick the probe in it. We'll put them back in until we get up to around the 203-ish mark or something like
Is
that.
that what they're saying? Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's hot.
Yeah. They did that with the pulled pork too, the 203, 205, 206.
Oh yeah?
I don't know. It seemed to work. So we're going to try that, and in a couple hours, it'll be a few hours, I'm sure, we'll get back to you and show you what's happening. All right. All right, so we got the brisket back in. We're going to wait till that thing gets up to like 200 and something with Chef Gao, and we're going to tell you what we did in that that brine, because we did a fast forward video, so you didn't catch some of the things that we were talking about. So
We took a liter of white wine, a couple of liters of apple juice, about 3 beers,
yeah.
two cans of apple cider,
Yes.
a little bit of water, a whole lot of garlic, a whole lot of
A lot of garlic. Like how many? Like 2 bulbs or a bulb and a half?
it was a bulb and a half.
Okay.
Okay, and some garlic and red pepper mix, and some smoked salt that Scotty made. That really made a difference.
Cool.
Some regular salt.
A whole pack of it, I think. Like how much you think?
Regular, about half a cup.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we had a bunch of brown sugar. And I think that was about it. And just mix it all up until it dissolved. Oh, and some bay leaves.
Right.
And then set that set that puppy in the brine. Let it drown in that for 12 hours.
Oh yeah.
And oh yes, and we poked it with a fork.
That's right. A whole bunch of holes in it to get everything to draw into it, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. So that guy should be good and moist. We're hoping.
Yes. Yeah, well, it's not the moisture that you're looking at there. It's the acid that's going to work on the connective tissues, and it's going to break it down so that it's easier to bite. It's going to be softer. So that's the main reason for the brine.
All right.
And the salt's going to make it look and seem rare because it turns it pink. As you'll know, that's what happens with ribs or pulled pork. When you see it red like that, it's because of the salt.
Okay.
So
cool.
there you go.
And the smoke does that too a bit?
Smoke does that too as well. That rings from the outside in.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
So we will enjoy it when it's done. It's too bad you can't.
All right, we're keeping our fingers crossed. We'll get back to you after we pull that guy out of the oven when it gets up to the right temperature, and then it'll be time to carve it up. All right, see you in a bit.
You can see that too. Cool.
Oh yeah. All right, we're laughing. This guy just got up to 203. We took it out, and we're gonna leave him all wrapped up, and we're gonna put him in the cooler to rest. So resting is probably one of the most important parts from what I understand. So we want to leave this guy sit for about an hour in the cooler here. Maybe even longer. Just like that. Still all wrapped up. Done. Boom. We're going to leave that for, like I said, an hour, maybe 2, and then we'll come back to it and carve her up. All right, it's time for the moment of truth. We just took this guy out of the cooler. It was resting for 2 hours. Total cook time on this guy is like 12 and a half hours from beginning to end. So let's unwrap her, see what we got here. This is a honkin', oh, and it's still on fire. Look at the steam coming out of that. Whoa-wee. I'll tell you what, that is nice, massive. All right, let's get all this tin foil out of here, and then we'll start carving her up. All right, let's get this guy cut up here. Oh man. All right, we're gonna separate the flat and the point. I'm gonna get this guy in half. Okay, leave that there for a minute. Our grain is running that away, so we're cutting this way. So if we can show you. It's very tender, I can tell you that much. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I think we're too cooked. We might be overcooked. That's not slicing like I thought it would. It's tearing, it's shredding apart like a pulled pork. Not cool, man. Let me get another knife, see if that helps. No, leave it. Am I going the right way on the grain?
No, I don't think so.
I think I am. That's a cross. No. No. Now we're getting into the slices, but I think we're, I mean, we took it off at the right temperature and everything. See, the grain is there, so I don't want to be slicing that way. I got to be slicing this way. But I think it's almost like it's too well done or something. There we go. Like it's falling apart. Flavor's good. Very much like a roast beef. And this is the lean part. There's no marbling, well, there's not much marbling in here whatsoever compared to this section. So as we get thicker, it's she's holding up a little bit better. There we go. I think it's a little dry, which I'm pretty surprised about since we brined it and took our time with everything. Not much of a smoke ring even. A little surprised on that. Let's try this guy, see what we get out of this. This is a big slice here, this. Yeah. That's nice. Let's see the marbling in that. That guy. This must be something special here. Let's try a piece of that. Definitely nicer. Not what I was hoping for, but still really good. I was looking for what I see in the videos, you know, a little more smoke ring. I wasn't expecting it to be as dry looking as that. You know, there's some juice in there for sure. But could also be a little bit maybe the cut of meat, but I kind of doubt it. Something we didn't give us the results we wanted. But the stuff is still really tasty. And this, yeah, we'll see if we can get a couple of these little burnt ends, they call them here. Try this out. There's some fat in there. It's a big chunk of fat. Try that. That's pretty good. Anyway, that's our final result. Happy enough, but not exactly what we were hoping for. So, as you guys saw in there, it didn't turn out exactly the way we were hoping. You know, the lean part, the flat was a little more dry, well, a lot drier than I expected. But then when we started cutting into the point, you know, all that fat and marbling in there certainly helped. There was a lot of juices in there, and it was quite tender. So it's nice and soft. It's really flavorful. The bark, I think, could have been better if I used the butcher paper. But who knows, you know what I mean? It's still good, and that's only the second time I've ever tried that. The last time I tried a brisket, I think, was over 10 years ago, and I hadn't a clue what I was doing. So we're going to try it again sometime. But in all, it wasn't a total failure. I mean, the meat's still pretty tender and is juicy. Just it didn't have that smoke ring that I was really hoping to see, and it didn't have, well, it just didn't all have the overall look that I expected when I watched some of these barbecue pitmasters guys doing really good stuff. You know, Malcolm Reed and those guys. Now, that's some real brisket. But anyway, we're not going to give up. We're going to try again. But anybody wants a slice, you're going to still enjoy this because it's got a lot of good flavor to it, that's for sure. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit subscribe. Catch us on the next adventure.